So here I am back by popular demand, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the chain stitching to finish off the red sample piece I have here. So you can see that there's been S stitches and Z stitches above and below, and here in the middle here is where I'm going to do my chain stitching. And what you do with that then is, I have a modern crochet hook. You know, maybe they did have some sort of a thing that was a hook back in the day. So I pick up the first strand and I twist it around because I need it to be a loop. And once I have a loop made, then I'm going to pick up every second strand and just do a chain on it. Pick up a bottom strand, slip the first over the second. Pick up a top strand. Come on, top strand. There we go. Slip the first over the second. Pick up a bottom strand. Pick up bottom strand. Pick up a top strand. And just chain it all the way across. And the good thing about it is I've got a safety line in there. And if anything happens, if anything goes wrong, I'm just going to be able to take out the chain and do it again. And this gives an amazingly elastic finish, which actually I'm really happy with. And you can extend it out as far as you wish, the full width of your fabric. So you get this chained ridge here. Now I made an error back there. Well, I'll check anyway. So this is how you finish off a piece of Sprang. And we'll leave that there for a second now. You can see the chained ridge. Okay, you get to the end. When you get to the end, I have just a spare bit of thread that I'll put through the last stitch and tie it off. I may as well do it. Let's just do it. And then we've got 2 more to go. 1 and 2. And so that's all of them done. What's going to keep it in place now is this little bit of thread here, which I don't need to have on a needle. Pull it through, and I'm just going to tie a knot in it for now and stitch in those ends later on. So now I have a chained ridge there. It's really very stretchy. And yeah, so that's that finished off. Now you'll notice there's a twist to it. It seems to be, it like automatically twists. Just to give you a quick look at the finished hairnet. There, in all its glory. Yes, there's a flaw there, but there's the chained ridge done on the end of the hairnet. And then on it goes over my head. Like so, and draw a string down there at the back. And there's my hairnet. You can see here at the back is where I gathered that end there. And this small seam here as well. Hope you can see that there. That's the hairnet done. That was just done with S and Z. And there's a fabulously complicated version of a hairnet from a place called Borum Eshoj, spelt with the ESH or AESHOJ. So this is from Denmark, and you can see that it's got the slanted stitches, the S's and the Z's, but it's also got these little slim pillars which are made by multiple twisting around, and then these lines then are those chained ridges that we did there and that we did here. So this chained ridge here, that gives you that line there. So I mean, that's quite a lot of intricate work. But the burial was in a large barrow, and they think it was so large that it's quite likely that it was for chiefs or nobility of some sort. So that would tie in with the complexity of the actual hairnet that woman was wearing. Whereas the lady in, this is from the Bredmose, bog burial in Arden. That's a much simpler one. It just has the S's and the Z's and one chained ridge to finish off, which was a necessary thing. So that could be maybe a little bookmark for me in time to come. And just then to show you what could happen in the future, I like that Borum Eshoj so much that I have warmed up 80 loops, 84 loops, so 168 threads on that piece there, and they're quite fine, very fine indeed. And I warped them with the cross, and I'm just going to show you one thing, which is how you might hold it. I've been talking about this scissors hold. So you start off, you get your fingers and you separate the threads between your fingers. It's really important. And they're the back threads back here, the front threads up here at the top, and then you start by doing your plait row. And your plait row is where you take 2 from the back up and then 1 from the front down. And then equally important is to get your fingers at this side into the grip, because when you have them in the grip then it becomes automatic. You also need to scan at the top here and the bottom here to make sure that you are actually picking up the correct thread, because they sometimes have a tendency to roll underneath. And so you get your 1 up and 1 down. I also devised a very clever way, I think, of getting more tension, which is I added 2 little pencils in at the top here under these threads, and then if I want to loosen the tension I just take out a pencil. So what have I done there? I've done 2 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 down, 1 up, fingers back in the hold, 1 down. Wool is nice and sticky. So Sprang has been very enjoyable. I've enjoyed it a lot. I'm hoping to take this with me to a reenactment event I'm going to, and get a lovely Sprang hairnet out of it. I might have to leave it to the side because really you have to pay attention, but I might do a similar something like one of these 2 in cotton that people can try out with. And if you need a book to figure out all the wonderful ways you can do Sprang, there's Carol James and page 27. There is a military sash and various tunics. So there's a tunic made out of sash, out of Sprang. So it just goes to show you the different patterns and possibilities across the world. Thanks very much.